The trade rumors are flying left to right, San Antonio Spurs fans. Even Wemby himself is saying he's getting messages from NBA players that want to play with them. Go, Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stay. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Man, a lot of crazy things happening with our Spurs. We keep hearing Trae Young, maybe DeJounte Murray. Now we're hearing Steph Curry to the San Antonio Spurs. This is crazy, all the stuff that's going on with our team. Everybody wants to play with Wemby. You get to play with Wemby, and you get to play with Wemby. Anyways, while I'm going over this article and dropping my 2 cents about some of the players I just mentioned, drop a comment down below. Which player, if any, do you think has the best chance to come to San Antonio in the offseason? Hit the thumbs up, like, support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs and sports community. Wemby, what's going on? What's he saying here? Well, let's get into the article from Bleacher Report. San Antonio Spurs rookie sensation. Victor Wembanyama suggested this week that some players have reached out to him and expressed interest in joining our Spurs. He said, "Yeah, I've received some messages, even from prospects, but I try to sustain my role. It's a whole new world that I'm eager to discover. For sure, one day or the other, I'll have to be involved in this, I guess, even though I'm staying in my role as a player." I'm sure Wemby's going to have a lot to say about who comes to San Antonio. You got to think the Spurs are going to be like, hey, yeah, not full control. That's going to be the pop in the front office, but he's going to have some input. The Spurs finished with the second worst record in the Western Conference this season at 22-60, but Wemby was every bit as good as advertised after the Spurs took him with the number 1 overall pick in the last year's draft, which suggests a turnaround is coming soon. Yes, I 100% agree. We're going to be better, a lot quicker than I think a lot of people are giving us credit to do. The Spurs have some talent around Wemby, including Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, Zach Collins, and Trae Jones, but they are lacking a secondary and a third star. I had to look that word up. I hadn't seen it possibly ever. So what? Third star. In the current NBA, it is rare for teams without multiple All-Stars to vie for championships, which suggests that the Spurs will have to get aggressive on the trade front or in free agency at some point. The prospect of playing alongside Wemby is especially exciting for point guards who can link up with him in pick-and-roll situations and for three-point shooting specialists who likely get plenty of open shots with Wemby commanding so much defensive attention. If the Spurs are able to leverage Wemby's excellence into the addition of an all-star or two over the next couple of years, I prefer the draft via trade instead of trade, all signs point toward a Spurs basketball renaissance. Ooh, I like that word. Spurs basketball renaissance being on the horizon. So they're saying, yes, people are going to probably want to play with Wemby. To make this work, we're going to need more than just one all-star. I would still rather do it for the draft. That being said, I've got 3 people on the thumbnail here, and why not talk about them right now since these names, especially the one in the middle, have been linked to our San Antonio Spurs as of late. Starting off with Trae Jones. He's the one out of the 3 I could see happening, the most likely to happen, if Atlanta isn't asking us to give up too much. I have seen some of you Spurs fans lately sour with the recent Atlanta playoff loss where Trae Young was 4 of 12 from the field, scored 22 points, had 10 assists, but also had 6 turnovers. And I didn't see the game, but I'm sure he played very little to no stellar defense. And he's going to be making about $45 million a year for the remainder of his contract. So there's some roadblocks there with Trae Young. DeJounte Murray, hey, what's up? Not likely, but never say never. He was actually good in that playoff loss to Chicago, 30 points, 7 and 6, plus 1 turnover, and he's really been showing much more being an assertive scorer with Trae Young out in Atlanta with his injury. When he was out with his injury, and you got to wonder, would DeJounte want to play second fiddle to Wemby if he came to San Antonio? He's doing it right now with Trae Young, so I think he'd be fine with that. It was certain. DeJounte took a lot more threes this year and was shooting a much better clip, so this would give him a lot of open opportunities. Is he the defender he was when he was in San Antonio? You guys aren't telling me he's not. Yes, there's all the negative things he said about the team leaving, so just for that, I don't think they'll bring him back. But again, never say never. And now the most recent ridiculous rumor that I wanted to address in this video, because so many of you were messaging me about it, and I didn't really want to do a video about it. So I kind of did a combo video here. Steph Curry. If you were to be traded, according to Bet Online, the Spurs have the best chance to acquire him. They're saying if he's going to be traded, he's coming to the San Antonio Spurs. And I say, who cares what any sports website is saying about trade possibilities? The only gambler that I like is Kenny Rogers Gambler. Because you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. Know when to... Okay, I'll stop. I don't see Steph Curry coming to the team, not coming to the Spurs. Just, it doesn't make sense. The Spurs are not built to win now. Steph is going to be 36 this season because he's a shooter. Sure, he probably has 2 good years, 3 good years, maybe 4 good years left in him, maybe even more. I don't know. Maybe play for 10 more years. Maybe like LeBron, just play into his 40s. I don't know. But to rush the rebuild right now, it wouldn't make any sense at all. He's set to make $55 million next season, Spurs fans. $55 next year and $59 the following year. What are the Spurs going to have to give up to pry Steph Curry away from the Golden State Warriors? We'd have to match the cap in some way, wouldn't we? We'd have to trade Devin, some other players, some picks. And to me, this also would be rushing things, saying, okay, let's drop Steph Curry on the team. The team would probably be a playoff team again with Wemby. And let's just go try to win now. And then Steph retires in 3 or 4 years. Then what do we do? Then we're starting over. Steph retires. Wemby leads the team. This is all no. And the flip side of things, for Golden State Warriors fans, I can't see them trading Steph Curry. I think, and I could be totally wrong, but I think the Warriors would try to rather rebuild around him before moving on from him and getting the most out of him his last 3, 4, 5, whatever years it is out of Golden State. I got to think the Warriors organization, I'd like to think Steph, and I'm sure the fans would like to see him finish his career with Golden State instead of somewhere else. Nothing drives me crazier as a sports fan when there's a player I like and fall throughout their career and then they go to another team. I've been very lucky. It hasn't happened very often with my favorite players, at least in the NBA, being David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili. Tony has that 1 year. I can't stand that 1 year. I'm not going to mention the team. Didn't happen. But you kind of get where I'm coming from. As a Giants fan, Eli Manning, Lawrence Taylor, Tiki Barber, Mark did play with somebody else. Never mind. But a lot of our guys, our top guys, played their whole careers. My favorite players played their whole careers with the Giants. And I got to think Steph's going to retire Golden State Warrior. He's accomplished so much there. I think they're going to try to rebuild around him. Whether they move on from Klay Thompson or not, I believe he went like 0 for 10 from the field in that playoff loss. I don't know. The team is getting much older, but Steph Curry has shown us he can still average close to 30 points per game, still be one of the best, if not be the best shooters in the NBA. I think they're going to try to kind of do what the Lakers are doing with LeBron. Just try to build around him for the last few years and maybe squeeze out one more championship. So that's all I got, Spurs fans. It's going to be a crazy offseason with trade rumors left and right. And just for a heads up, somebody asked, trades don't start, at least for players, until after the playoffs and after the NBA draft. I believe we can actually start trading players after the NBA draft. You can trade picks now, 4 picks, I think. I'm not really sure what the whole rules are with the CBA and this, that, and the other, but actually trading for Trae Young or Steph Curry or DeJounte Murray, I don't believe any of that can happen until, obviously it can't happen during the playoffs, but I don't think you can make any trades until after the draft. So we're going to see a ton of rumors between now and the end of June. So that's 2 months. So I'll try to stay on top of it. Try not to cover stuff that's too weird, but you guys are asking about the Steph Curry thing. Don't see it happening. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. That's all I got. TGIF, hopefully ever to go in. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go. Wemby.